are the same. We share the love, embracing the differences like hand in glove. Spreading peace and joy, it's a beautiful sight. Together we shine in each other's light. Wherever we stand, in love's pure might. Watching the world share in love and light. Hearts beating, our peaceful flight. Colors of harmony, painting the night. And we stand in love's pure might.
Good evening and welcome to Watching the World. Today we're going to discuss this whole situation that happened in Tampa, I believe Florida today. A man driving an Uber was killed by police in a stolen vehicle. I've never heard this one before. We're going to break that down for you, and then we're going to get into Nolan Wells. We're going to have a deep dive into the audio. And I want to give a special thank you to Mustang for being here so early. As you come in, hit the like button, share, and subscribe to the channel. So first, we're going to get started by looking at this whole event that happened in Florida today in regards to an Uber driver. Let's check it out.
With us today, I'm here to brief you on a very, very dangerous situation that occurred this morning. Now, there's been a lot said about license plate readers. They invade your privacy. Absolutely not. They do not. They don't do anything other than a law enforcement officer can do. And they look at tag numbers. They run them through the computer system to see if, in fact, there are any outstanding warrants for someone's arrest, to see if there's a missing person in the car. They read license plate numbers.
So they were able to detect this guy by a license plate reader. So let's see what happened in Florida.
Public.
This happened early this morning.
Side of the roadway, just like a law enforcement officer. The advantage is they can read them much faster than a law enforcement officer can manually enter them into the computer.
I believe they call them flock cameras, right?
For the same exact data. And today, because of a license plate reader, we were able to apprehend what turned out to be a very dangerous person.
Wow.
Let me introduce you to Larry Ronaldo Riles. He's 46.
Well, he was 46, right?
His family reported to us and confirmed what we saw on his vehicle, that he is an Uber driver. That's what his family said. And we saw a Uber sign in his front windshield.
So he was an Uber driver with the Uber sign right in the front window.
But that's not why we were looking for him. We were looking for him because a license plate reader said, hey, this guy's got an outstanding warrant for violation of probation. Our deputies were circulating the area of Wabash and Memorial Boulevard when they located his vehicle. It's a Chevy Captiva. It's dark blue.
Looks like the car that's right behind him, by the way.
Had seen us in the area apparently, and he backed in so we couldn't see his tag number in front of the subway that we're in front of now. But the deputies found him. There were 3 deputies, and they blocked him in. When they blocked him in, they got out and they told him to exit the vehicle several times. And of course, he refused. Then he started rolling forward. So they broke out his windshield, which was tinted very darkly. So you have a dark colored tint on this vehicle where it's difficult to see in. He's got outstanding violation of probation.
Imagine this guy picks you up in an Uber, right? That's crazy.
Warrants. He's backed in to hide from us. We break the window and we try to tase him. So he's rolling his vehicle forward. He's resisting us.
So they did not commence to deadly force right away. All right.
We still try to talk to him and de-escalate and tase him. And then he rams the patrol car because he's trying to get away. Well, he can't move the patrol car. He reaches into the back seat and starts to rack a round into a 9mm handgun. It appears to be a 9mm. We've not picked it up, but it is a semi-automatic handgun. Not just any semi-automatic
Imagine you get into an Uber and the guy has this type of gun. That has to be terrifying, right?
handgun, but one stolen from a vehicle in the city of Lakeland on the 24th of June. As he's starting to rack a round into the
So he has an Uber and a stolen vehicle. Wow.
firearm to engage our deputies, we shot him. We shot him a lot. As soon as he was
He said we shot him a lot. Wow, these guys don't play around, right?
neutralized and he dropped the gun, we pulled him from the vehicle and started life-saving measures. So let me focus here a second. You've got a guy that's reported to us as an Uber driver with an Uber sign in his window, with a stolen vehicle and a criminal history, on probation, driving around the city. We try to peacefully take him into custody and he resists. We try to tase him after we knock the window out because he won't lower the window, and he rolls forward and then tries to ram the vehicle. After he rams the vehicle,
Can you drive an Uber in a stolen vehicle? How does this work?
then he reaches into the back seat, pulls out his firearm, and is preparing to engage us in a gunfight. We were quicker than he was. There's the quick and the dead. And the suspect's dead because we saw this firearm and protected ourselves. I would like to identify the deputies to you today, but there's just been a new law passed that says I can't release their names for 72 hours. The investigation is ongoing, but here's what
Out of all the sheriffs that I've seen lately, I like this guy. He seems to be straightforward and to the point.
we know. He was arrested years ago for an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in Hillsborough County, and they allowed him to plead to a misdemeanor. And then he was arrested for a felony grand theft in Polk County, and he was allowed to plead to a misdemeanor. And then they brought him in for a drug test, and he tested positive for meth. So they did a violation of probation and put him in the jail for 39 years, modified his probation, and let him go back out onto the street. He went back out onto the street. Probation officer calls him in for his next drug test, and I believe it was
All right, thank you. Sophie's World says that's Sheriff Grady out of Florida, I believe Tampa.
1st of June. And he tests and he runs from that test. When they spring the test on him, he runs out the door, and that caused this current violation of probation. After that, he comes into possession of a firearm as a result of another burglary, another felony in Lakeland.
This guy had quite the rap sheet, right?
So I ask you this license plate reader on the side of the road in a public space, only looking at tag numbers and colors of vehicles, potentially stopped you from getting in an Uber.
Put a 1 in the chat if you agree, if you like the concept of the tag reader. Put a 2 if it's not for you. Put a 3 if you're not even familiar with the tag reader or the flock cameras. Let's see what you guys have to say.
With a guy with a stolen firearm and on probation, I don't think that's a bad deal. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about license plate readers. They do not violate anyone's privacy. They're not in a private space. And all we do is look for bad guys and look for Alzheimer's patients that are missing and try to keep you safe. So at the end of the day, we're going to keep you safe. We're going to reduce crime.
Didn't he say ultimately the camera actually picked up some other issues with the person's vehicle, right? So I find that hard to believe.
And we're going to protect ourselves. Larry Ronaldo Riles today asked to be shot, and we obliged him. These deputies didn't come to work today wanting to get into a potential gunfight, but they were trained and they were ready, and they're going to go home safe tonight. And Larry chose that. He could have given up when we blocked his vehicle in. He knew he was blocked in. He could have given up when he started rolling forward and we broke the window out. He chose to.
Guys, Leah says flock cameras actually just helped my family recover a stolen vehicle. Thank you, Leah, for giving us your personal testimony.
Ram the vehicle. He could have given up after all of that, but what did he choose to do? He chose to get his firearm and rack it for a gunfight. And we beat him to the draw. And that's on him. So at the end of the day, here's a couple of takeaways. We're going to use license plate readers only in public spaces. If anyone that has access to this data abuses it, just like if they abuse any of our other computer data, we're going to hold them accountable. But we're also going to keep the.
I know in New York, a lot of people park along the street for their residential area, and those cameras, they actually pick up all sorts of issues. So it's quite intriguing how this works.
Community safe. And if you try to attack our deputies with a firearm, we're going to shoot you. We're going to shoot you a lot, but that's not our choice. That's your choice.
He says, we're going to shoot you a lot. Cat Pitt says, kidnapper in Florida was located via flock camera, girl recovered. Thank you for sharing that. Guys, we're about to get into Nolan Wells right after this. This happened this morning. We wanted to catch up with this story, and I find it intriguing. The guy was driving the vehicle behind the sheriff as an Uber driver with a vicious gun in the back seat.
I've told you pretty much everything we know at this early stage of the investigation.
And they killed him. Simple as.
But are there any?
Can't help but notice this is a very public area. People work in this store. There's customers in here.
We can't really hear the questions. George says they broke the window out and tased him. Anything would happen is you tase someone in a car. All right, thank you very much.
People driving around, how dangerous of a situation was it, given how public this area is?
Well, Larry created this very dangerous situation in a public area. It was early in the morning, and there was fortunately very few people here. But we don't choose the locations of shootouts, but we respond to the locations of shootouts. And at the end of the day, he had total control.
Yes, stack of facts, yes.
Today, he would be preparing to eat some lunch at the county jail if he'd have just given up. But he chose not to do that. But be sure one thing that
Doug say he got what he deserved. He got what he deserved. All right, so we get the general point of what happened here. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. We have a guest coming on a little bit later. I want to show you guys, later we're going to look at this or listen to the audio and pretty much go through it again, making a determination of what you actually get a chance to hear. We're going to use the original one, but first I want to start off with Nancy Grace tonight. I want you guys to hear, and I only want to use a little bit of her material, so ultimately you would have to go and check it out on her channel. But we're going to take a brief look at some of the information she shared tonight. Let's check it out. Thank you guys again.
To this investigation. Her name, Janetta Brantley. Miss Brantley is the audio engineer who enhanced the 911 call, the CETO call, in the Nolan Wells case. So everybody claiming some ding
It's going to be hard to get around this case as being something nefarious because Nancy Grace is not letting up, and she's definitely laying down the work that something nefarious happened to Nolan Wells.
Dog on YouTube did it, or somebody on Insta or TikTok did it. No, she did it. I've spoken to her. I've read her statement. I want you to judge her credibility. Credibility is normally the sole province of a jury, and tonight you serve in that function. Miss Brantley, I'm sure that you're getting all sorts of abuse, threats, and so forth. It's a cacophony that seemingly won't cease. That said, thank you for being with us tonight. Explain to
Thanks
me.
for having me.
They basically doxed her to the third power. It was so tremendous. I believe they had to raise money from either GoFundMe or some other source.
Where you got the audio, how you got the audio, and what, if anything, you did to enhance the audio.
First and foremost, I basically downloaded it off of YouTube from WLOX News's YouTube site.
That's the same place we're going to go to tonight, but we're not going to even look at the enhanced audio. We're going to just listen to it in its natural form, and everybody in the audience is going to participate to say what they're hearing. We did it earlier today, but some had asked that I redo this tonight because they were not able to participate earlier. So we'll get to that in a little bit.
And when I downloaded it, I ripped it off of YouTube. That's the terminology that we use when we take something off of YouTube. But when I ripped it off of YouTube
Pause.
and I pulled it in.
Pause, please. Objection. Miss Brantley, isn't it true
Yes.
that the audio you got was taken directly by XLO from MDMR?
See, that's the argument that I get from a lot of people. They're saying, oh, this is an edited audio that maybe somebody on YouTube or Facebook decided to add some AI to it. But Nancy Grace is actually helping to track this back, that the audio that she actually used came from the MDMR. And ultimately, she got it off of the same local news station that we're going to actually listen to the audio off of. We're not going to listen to anything I downloaded. We're going to listen to it. I'm going to show you how I'm going to achieve or grab this audio, and we'll go through it together and see what you hear. By the way, you guys will need your headphones in, and I think the actual audio that you want to hear will be on the right side because of the way it's channeled. But anyway, we're going to get to this first.
Correct? The Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Okay, please continue, Miss Brantley.
So when I downloaded it from YouTube, I pulled it into my DAW, which is Logic Pro X. That's my DAW of choice. And when I first listened to it, I realized that it was like a dual mono recording, which most, most phone services or operators utilize when they're recording conversations. And so
she's an actual audio engineer. Okay.
It was already split between the caller, the dispatch, and the callers in the background. And so that's what made it easy for me to isolate it without having to do much to it. So that isolation, when I separated the left channel from the right channel, that just made me be able to really focus on everything that was on the call end. And what I was hearing was I honestly could not believe what I was hearing.
Miss Janetta Brantley, isn't it true this is the same audio that was released by the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources?
So before we get started, put a 1 in the chat if you feel like something nefarious happened to Nolan. Put a 2 if you think it was an accident. Put a 3 if you think something happened to Nolan, but it was a cover up because people got nervous. So 1, 2, 3. Let's see what you guys have to say.
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Let's listen to it one more time.
Somebody said you killed him. Somebody else said he's already dead. Wow, what? Check this out. The girl says, "Is he dead?" Wow.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working.
Now we're just gonna take a brief segment of this, but then Nancy Grace is going to actually have her audio engineer where she works at, also enhance the audio, and you're gonna have a chance to hear it from a different perspective too. But I don't want to play too much of her material.
Thinking, can y'all please come? We have a membership. Get up! Get the f- up!
Get up, get the F up. Damn it, Bart. These are some of the things that were retrieved. Somebody said, No-No's really dead. Can you imagine that? I'm going to show you guys before we get started in our little project tonight that Nolan was about 2.75 miles away, almost 3 miles away from the shore when this call commenced. Okay, so that's a real big problem because Nolan is not right there, right by the shore, just as Officer Tatum and other people tried to make this out to be.
What'd you say? It's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down. I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's.
I'm going to skip a little bit.
Hey, jump in.
So now she shows you how she actually broke it down. Check this out.
Hello. Okay.
You know, one of these audios say, should we cover him up? Like, what is that all about, right? Anyway, we're going to get to that.
What's going on? What's up? Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and
So this is how she actually did the process. You could actually see it on Facebook too, but hopefully, I'm just going to play a little bit of it so you get the idea.
bilge pump stopped working. We're thinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
Damn it, Bart. And they're telling Nolan to wake the F up. Like, what's really going on with Nolan? Anybody have any ideas? Shout out to Empress. Nice to see you here. Thank you guys so much. Purple Flower, a fellow New Yorker, is in the house. Good to see you. Guys, tell us in the audience, what do you think about this? Where are all the people that have been saying that there's no credence to this, that the audio is fake? I'd like to see all of you guys give us some sort of indication or some pushback to what we're learning tonight. You hear that? Somebody said, "Oh shit, Nolan." You hear that? You hear the girl said, "Is he dead?" You hear that? That's not a bilge pump. Where are the people that say that this is a bilge pump? Is he dead? You mean to tell me the bilge pump is a he now? We're trying to understand. All right, we're going to go through this in the natural video in a few minutes, but I want to go through this now.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're thinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, I'm going to skip through and get some of the key points. I don't want to play too much.
That video showing what she is doing. What does adding EQ mean, Ms. Brantley?
Adding EQ is basically selecting a certain frequency of the actual sound and either deleting or removing a certain noise, something that's problematic to the ear.
She's been pretty much tortured on social media, but she's really good at what she does, right? Look at how she's isolating and adding gain and really helping people to understand what's being said in the background.
Deleting that or boosting that. That's literally all EQing is.
What was your process, Janetta? Because I
see some people saying, well, I don't hear any of the stick around. We're going to do a project, but you need to get your headsets on, your earphones on. It's very important. Take a break now and go get your earphones so that we can all hear this properly. and you will be able to have a fair shot to come to a reasonable conclusion about what's being said in the background. We're going to use the natural video.
Sitting researching. It was early in the morning, like 5:45 a.m. several days ago, and I was researching the Nolan Wells case, and I saw the transcript as it was being played. And my husband was also up. He said, "What's wrong?" I'm like, if this is real, this changes everything. It changes everything. Because up until that point, it seemed as if Nolan's death could very well have been an accident. If this is real, it changes everything. It's seismic. What was your reaction when you heard these words, Janetta Brandt?
I want you guys to tell me in the comment section, what was your reaction when you first heard and saw the transcripts, or perhaps the first time you heard the audio for yourself? I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Just put your thoughts in the comments, and thank you very much. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe, and thank you for whoever's hitting the hearts. Thank you.
I think at my core, I was in disbelief. I wasn't cleaning it or enhancing it to specifically look for.
Somebody said you killed him. Another person said he's already dead. Does that sound like a bilge pump, right? What does this sound like to you?
Or identify a crime or even point the fingers at anybody. I believe I.
Okay, Purple Flower said she sick to the stomach. Okay, all right. Thank you for answering the question. I have to keep moving. I don't want to play too much, but I want you guys to focus on this fella here that she actually, I call it, she interrogates him, because he's taking the approach, as many people in the comment section on the day today, as though, oh, this is an AI audio. Check out how Nancy Grace really holds his feet to the fire. Check it out.
Veteran trial lawyer joining us out of the Baton Rouge jurisdiction at Borghart's law firm. Franz, take off your defense hat just one moment. I have introduced wiretaps many times at trials, which are very hard to get, by the way. And I've never had one that I believed was doctored at the time, because they were taken by law enforcement. This is from a completely independent source with no dog in the fight, no skin in the game. It's from dispatch at CETO. And if this is real, this blows the case.
Blows it wide open, right? What would you guys say? Where are the people that are still holding on to these concepts that this is, you don't hear anything? Tonight, we're going to put everybody to the test, and we're going to hear bits and pieces together and see what you guys can come up with collectively. But notice what this guy's approach is.
Right up. Now, you saw Janetta Brantley. You've heard her. I have no reason to disbelieve anything she's saying.
So if I'm prosecuting this, I'm worried that I need a witness in 2026 to exclude the possibility that it's either AI generated or doctored, just like you suggested.
You hear that? What do you guys think about his concept of this whole matter?
And I think that she's very credible, but I think we need to go one step further. The other concern I have, Nancy, is if the independent autopsy is showing inconclusive death results, now I really want to see the other autopsy to see, is there trauma to the body? Is there something that happened? These are the concerns I would have as a prosecutor. But we've now opened the doors to these guys may in fact have committed obstruction of justice.
Hold on. You put
obstruction of justice. What about, back it up a bit here.
Putting the cart before the horse. Before we talk about obstructions such as allegedly lying or covering something up, you've already mentioned two distinct lines of inquiry. One is that the audio that Janetta Brantley enhanced innocently, I believe, had been already AI or doctored. Okay, let's follow that through to its logical conclusion. You just throw that out there like a stink bomb at the circle. You know what a circle meeting is, right? in the United Methodist Church, all the ladies have circle meetings. Okay. To suggest this was doctored by
Shadow, feel free to come on the show if you like. I'll drop the link in a minute.
Before Janetta got it means it had to have been doctored or AI created by who? The Mississippi Department of Marine.
She says, by who? Who created this AI? Because the video or the audio was obtained directly from the MDMR directly.
Resources. No, don't just go, that doesn't work in court, Burkhart's. You can't just throw, that's like the side defense. Some other dude did it. What dude? What are you talking about? So you're saying AI doctored by who? If it's not Janetta, then who?
Listen to his response.
She got it. The same sound that was released by the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. What? You think they doctored it?
There is nothing normal about this case. And if the
That's not
state,
what I asked you. I'm asking you to explain your premise, and you're
You see that? She said, that's not what I asked you, Jack. You follow that?
not doing it.
I said if I were a prosecutor, I would want to be able to establish with expert testimony that what we are listening to is real. And I would want a witness, because I'm telling you, with this case, with as viral as it's been, I'm not disagreeing that it's real.
He's not disagreeing.
I'm saying I would want to be able to bolster that very credible woman's testimony, and she is very credible. I have no doubt that what we're listening to and what she did is credible. The issue is, I don't know if she can go the distance to say,
okay,
right,
got it. She cannot testify.
Okay, I have to keep moving. I'm going to show you a little bit more in regards to this lady here. Let me play this. I think she was able to enhance it also. Check this out.
9 cents. And good luck. Joining me now, Susan Hendricks, investigative journalist, author of Down the Hill, My Descent into the Double Murder in Delphi, who has been on this case from the beginning. Susan Hendricks, we all know that everyone in our country is innocent until proven guilty. And regardless of how you or I or anybody else feels, that includes the young men on the boat with Nolan Wells. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of questions that have to be answered. Is this sound real? Has it been enhanced? Who enhanced it? Was it AI?
Guys, hit the like button, share, also subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. And also, if you don't mind, hit the hearts. I really do appreciate having you guys here.
Or doctored before.
By the way, if you're just coming in, get your earphones, because we're going to listen to the original audio and see how collectively what we're able to hear and glean from the audio.
Janetta Brantley pumped it up so we can hear it. I want you to hear another version.
You can see that I have the CTO channel completely muted, so we're only listening to the callers. Then I go through and simply raise the volume of all of the chatter we hear at the beginning of the call.
See, that's right there. Did you guys notice that? This is what she enhanced. Notice what this first one says. Do you want to cover him up?
Then I go through and simply raise the volume of all of the chatter we hear at the beginning of the call.
Want me to cover him up? What do you say about that? I want you guys to really explain. Can somebody explain in the audience? Are you covering up the bilge pump? What are we covering up? Want me to cover him up? What does that mean? And for those that actually push back, I would love to hear from you. This is all important. You heard that? What was said? What do you think you heard? Why would a girl say, is he dead? And someone else says, Nolan. Why are they calling for Nolan when they're about 3 miles away from the shore? 2.75 miles according to the GPS. Nolan, don't die. You hear that? What's going on here?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership. Oh, shut the fuck up. Damn it, Bart.
Susan, that was enhanced by my producer, Sydney. I know her like that. I asked her, enhance it the best you can.
Okay, guys, men's easy menus. Can you tell us? You say they're not saying Nolan. I would love to hear what you think they're saying. Would you tell us? Thank you.
She, again, has no interest in the outcome of this case. She pulls up, quote, want me to cover him up? I mean, Susan, weigh in.
I was listening to the enhanced version, both of them now, not doctored, by the way. There's a big difference there. Have you ever heard, Nancy, on Instagram where you listen to two things and your mind goes to what you're thinking of, like green car or moon boat? What are we really hearing? I believe that something nefarious did happen. Where I think
Wow.
the answers will be.
Did you hear that? She felt like something nefarious did happen, like a lot of those ones that we received in the chat. This is terrifying, if you ask me. Night after night, Nancy Grace is really bringing it out. I think she's the best covering this case so far.
Again, this is my opinion, but I believe something happened there and we're not hearing the full story. And you pointing out, Nancy, how crowded that area was. So let's say what people are claiming, that it was an accidental drowning. No one saw. Look here at the crowd. Nobody saw what happened. And all of us have our phones on us.
Men's, I'm going to go through the actual audio and we're going to take each word by word. And then you'll be able to say if you're hearing Nolan or if you're hearing no or whatever your argument is. Thank you.
All the time. No one recorded this. I think the answers are in the timeline and also the autopsy.
Okay, so guys, if you look at the actual video here, they're saying this is Nolan. I don't know about that now. They have an actual blown up copy. Look at this. This is not necessarily, it's hard for me to say. Similar hairstyle, but focus here. Do you guys think that this is Nolan? Tell us in the chat if you think this is Nolan. When it's minimized, I was basically going by the hair, but looking at it the way they've blown it up, it would be hard for me to say without a shadow of a doubt that this is Nolan. This appears to be the Triton. I will say that. Okay. And it's the same two guys that's on the boat. I get that. Okay.
And we will hear answers there.
Right.
You're seeing video.
That to me now, see, Officer Tatum was saying that was Nolan, but guess what? Now that I see this up close, I don't think that that's Nolan. Let me play it again for you guys.
Pointing out, Nancy, how crowded that area was. So let's say what people are.
See right here? Does this look like Nolan? This fellow looks much darker, if you ask me. Nolan was lighter complected than me. So I don't think so. This guy here appears to be darker than I am. So I find this really hard to believe now. So this may not be Nolan. In fact, the other one we're going to take a look at, Nolan would have his back to us and he's bending forward. That's another one we would have to always wonder about, right? But anyway, we're going to cut out of this and get to the natural video. But first, I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to build an argument for you guys that the boat was not by the shore like Officer Tatum said it was. And this is no shots at Officer Tatum. I think he does great work. I agree with him on the Tyler Robertson case, but not on this case. But either way, I'm just here to put out the information and really look at it with a critical eye. Typically, I go to court and I cover these cases. So if there was a case that stems from this, I have to go to Mississippi and sit in court and go to court every day. So that's what I do. But let's get to this a little bit more.
Claiming that it was an accidental drowning. No one saw. Look here at the crowd. Nobody saw what happened. And all of us have our phones on us all the time. No one recorded this. I think the answers are in the timeline And also
Now I want to show you guys a little bit here. From what I understand, this boat is the Triton. I believe this is one of their boats here. Okay. I'm going to show you that a little bit later, but let me show you. I think this is Bart's boat. I'm going to actually, let me just let it play. I'm going to show you Bart's boat.
Notice, which leads me to.
Actually, I guess we would have to go back. Let's see. Let me see if I can show you Bart's boat.
look here at the crowd. Nobody saw what happened. And all of us have our
Right here. You see where it says Garmin at the top?
phones.
I believe this is the boat that belonged to Bart from everything that I'm seeing. All right, I'm going to break it down. I had a whole theory that I laid out last night, and I'm basically telling you, listen, they have this whole argument about two different boats. One is actually hauling the other one. And so they show us the video. In the video, there's 7 people that are on the boat that we can see. But you know what we don't see? We don't see a lot of water in the boat. And I have to wonder why. Why is it that we're not seeing a lot of water in the boat? In fact, let me show you guys the actual video.
I was given this video.
Guys, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. It takes a lot of work to do this, and I've been doing it quite extensively. But watch this video. This is the boat that Officer Tatum put out to say, now, no doubt he got it from someone else, but he put it out to say, hey, look, this boat shows 7 people on it. So these boys were basically being told, and guess what? Nolan is not on the boat. Let's get to it.
Video. And here's a video of the actual boat as they're getting towed out. Do you see Nolan on this boat whatsoever? Now, I did this so we can get context. This new.
Okay, so you guys saw that, right? There's 7 people that were on that boat. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit further. I don't want to get into this extensively. I've already been showing this before, but if you look at this photo, you notice the shorts that Warren has on, sort of an orange tint. He has on red beads. You see Nolan this is from that day, allegedly. Nolan has on red beads and this fella has on white beads, right? But when you actually look at the boat, when you look at the individuals that are on the boat, you'll notice that you don't see those orange shorts that Warren had on. So this whole argument seems to be falling apart. But I want to show you, not only is there an issue with the boat that they put out to try to substantiate that Nolan was not on the boat, I want to show you this photo, and I want you guys to tell me, can you see, for those of you that are able to blow it up or take a screenshot and look deeper into the photo, I want you to tell me if you're seeing any water in this boat. Tell me that. I want to know. Look behind the fella. They say it's Wyatt sitting down on the phone with the steering wheel, right? But if you look under him, do you see any water in this boat? I'd like to see your answers, okay? Tell me if you see water in the boat. I'm going to show you another angle, all right? Let me show you another angle of the boat. This is what they put out. All we're doing is taking a look at the information that's put out, and I think that's very fair, to say the least. Here you go. Look at this photo here. Do you see water in this boat anywhere? You see how the fella in the back that's bending over, right? You can see down to the floor. Do you see any water in this boat? No water. People are saying no water. So what's happening here? Right? What's happening here? Where is the water and the reason why they're being told? Right? We're just applying some critical thinking, just trying to understand what's happening here. So no water in the boat, okay? No water in the boat. That's very clear. All right, so maybe this is a different day. Maybe it's a different time, but you'd also have to wonder why the clothes are not matching up. Why can't you find Warren? Now, here's the argument that we had yesterday or Sunday, right? The argument that we had is that perhaps there's two. They're telling us that this boat is being towed. You see, this fella has a rope. They never showed us the other boat because they said Bart is the one towing them. So we don't have the opportunity to see who's inside of his boat. If you want to make a thorough argument, then you need to show us the people that are in both boats, right? Because Nolan could be in the other boat. Now, I want you guys to keep this in mind. I'm going to give you this argument, but I'm going to do so while playing the audio here. So just bear with me for a minute. I'm going to pull up this other video. But, you know, before I do that, I want to show you guys something. I like to be very thorough with the facts, right, that we have available. So first, I want to make the argument of where, and I know I've shown this before, but we have new people here tonight. In fact, we have a lot of people here. I hope you find the need to subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much for all you do. If you have any questions, you could ask Empress. You can see she's right at it right now, too. At any rate, I want to show you this here. Let me show you this. Let's remove this from the studio. Okay, so give me one moment here. I want to show you the location of the boat. So guys, first I'm going to show you the location of the boat so that we all understand that the boat is not by the shore, because if the boat is by the shore, different people are making the argument that Nolan is right there. Maybe he's on the shore and people are interacting with him. I've already shown you, and maybe I'll even show you this if you guys really want to see it, but Warren actually said they were towed out a quarter of a mile. How many of you guys actually remember that, or do I need to show you again? If I need to show you, because we want to be thorough, then talk to me in the comments. Let me know what you think. But Warren said that they were towed out a quarter of a mile, and that's when they made the call to Ceto. Do you guys remember that? Put a 1 in the chat if you do. Put a 2 if you did not hear that yet. All right, so somebody wants me to show it. All right, so put a 1 if you are aware. Put a 2 if you're not, and let's see what the numbers look like. If the numbers are off, then I will show it again, but I've been repeating this whole thing quite extensively, but I'll do it again if I see enough 2s. Right now, we don't see a lot of 2s, so I think most people get the point that they were towed out a quarter of a mile, according to Warren. If you want me to show it, I would have to see you say show, and I would have to have at least 5 people to say show in order for me to do that. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to do that. We got to keep this show moving, though. But at any rate, I will do it if I have to. Okay, so I don't see anyone asking me to show it. So I'm going to just show you from the standpoint. Okay, so all the shows came in. All right, so guys, bear with me. I'm going to show you. Since you guys want to see it, I'm going to show you now. Just give me 1 second to pull this up. And we're going to just give me one moment. I'm going to show you. I'm just going to lay it all out for you again, because of the people that have not had the opportunity to see this. All right. So give me one moment to get to this
entity, and it actually
okay, let me pull this up. Give me one moment. All right, I'll have this up for you in a minute. Let me just find the video we're looking for here. I wasn't intended on showing this, but I will for those that really want to see it. So let me just pull it up for a minute here. Okay, here we go.
Called Ceto. Yeah.
All right, guys. So since you want to see it, I'm going to pull it up for you here. Just give me one moment and we'll get to it here. Let's see. Okay, so sit back while so what we're going to notice here, Warren is going to lay out where exactly the boat is when they make the call to Ceto, and then we're going to break down the chaos so you can understand if Nolan is close by. If he's on the shore, you shouldn't be able to hear them talking to him in the background. So let's listen to Warren.
It's now 4:30.
Right.
People are still out there partying and
Correct.
they're having a good time, but something happened to where it necessitated you guys to get the boat up and running. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So I looked up, I had a girl come up to me and say, "Hey, your brother just got in a fight." And obviously I have a younger brother, and that's who she was talking about. And I was freaked out. So I walked over to the beach, and I didn't walk over. I ran over. I made a beeline.
As far as Audra goes, I just want to say this to you. Nobody is accusing anybody of anything, but we are testing some of the points here. So I would challenge you, before you condemn, just to pay attention to what's being actually said. You have the words of Warren himself to compare. And right now we're just focusing on where the location of the boat was when the call was made to sea tow. Because then if you hear Nolan in the background and they're 3 miles out from the seashore, and the argument is Nolan is back on the land, then that's a real big problem, because you shouldn't hear any talk about Nolan being dead in the background. So just bear with us. But we're using the facts from Warren's own mouth. I think you said that he's a great young man. We're not disputing that. So if he's great, listen to his words. All right. Thank you.
I didn't talk to anybody, put my drink down and walked over there. And my brother was kind of angry, and, there was a lot going on, but someone was getting pulled away. I don't know who it was. And my brother was like, "Oh, I just got in a fight, and this guy punched me in the face," and I punched him right back. And then went to the ground, and my brother put him in an arm bar. And
was Nolan involved in any of this?
Absolutely not. When I was over there was a bunch of younger guys like my brother's age. And I mean, Nolan, I never saw Nolan over there. Yeah. Absolutely not. And, okay, sorry. I just lost my train of thought.
So you get ready to go. There's an issue with the boat.
Okay, yeah.
And this is what
this led up to that. That's what I'm saying.
So the fight happened with your brother, or a little scuffle. I'm assuming that it was cleared up.
Right.
You got your brother out of that situation, and then how did you find out that this boat is sinking?
Well, I walk back over, and we're probably around each other for a little bit. I mean, I wasn't thinking anything of it. I told my brother, I pulled my brother off the beach, and I was just like, "Listen, get in the water, hang out with us, calm down." I mean, he was calm, but I didn't want anything else to happen, And
notice the question that he was asked, right? So he's just going on this whole talking spell, but he hasn't really answered that question.
So once I got back over the boat, I got on the Triton, and the Triton had probably about 6 inches of water up to the transom. And I was freaked out because I'm good friends with Wyatt, and that was his boat. And, no water's coming out, no access water's coming out. And, it was a big issue, because I think the reason was because there were so many people getting on and off the boat. And at some point the boat was very, very crowded, and there was just a lot of people on. So that it drags water in. And eventually, I think over time, we were out there for a couple hours, the boat just started filling up with water. So I popped the starboard side hatch, and the battery was completely underwater. And so the motor wouldn't trim down. I mean, my buddy would go to trim it down from the console, and it'd trim down, and then it'd come right back up. And so Wyatt's trying to throw a rear anchor, so we're caught, and he's, yelling at people. Everybody's kind of freaking out. And eventually I'm yelling at other people, trying to tell them, calm down. The boat could possibly sink, and I'm not paying attention to everyone around me. I was paying attention to my buddy's boat. And that's what all my other friends that were on that boat were doing.
Somebody said Buddy, AKA Bart. Thank you, adorable.
Trying to solve the problem.
So you're on the boat now. The water is getting up to the point where the boat may be disabled to where you couldn't get it out from Horn Island. So what happens after that?
Wyatt jumps to the water, tries to throw a rear anchor, and my buddy Byron, you're sitting, looking, trying to...
More details about the boat. We can't find Nolan.
Pull trash out the bilge, and the bilge is basically a pump that pulls the water, the excess water out the boat. So the bilge was failing to work. So any excess water was just sitting in the boat. It wasn't getting pumped out. And I looked over the gunnel and I looked at the release hole for the bilge, and it was even with the water. So, I mean, we're all freaking out. All of our, we're not focused on anything else other than the boat. Well, then eventually my buddy Bart on the tide line is like, I'm going to pull y'all out to where we're out of all this, all this chaos. Cause we left at 4:30 and there were still just as many people there, if not more than when we got there. I mean, probably around the same amount. I mean, it was crazy. Like there was a lot of people. And, I mean, eventually Bart pulls us out. We left at 4:30.
So you heard that, right? Bart pulled them out. Okay, pulled them out of the chaos.
But we really weren't pulled out away from everybody. We were probably about a quarter mile out. And
okay, how far was that? Tell me, how far were they pulled out according to what he just said? How far were they pulled out? Let's stick with the facts. How far? Let's see what you guys are saying here. How far were they pulled out? It's very important that we get the location from the actual land.
But we really weren't pulled out away from everybody.
That's right. That's right, guys. A quarter of a mile.
We were probably about a quarter mile out, and we had the towing strap pulled from, Bart's port side cleat or starboard side cleat, and he was on our starboard side bow. And so it was rubbing on his power pole. So Bart turned around, pulled up next to our boat, and we were just trying to get it situated. So that's when Wyatt.
So he said Bart turned around and pulled up next to their boat. So we have to readily assume that the boat that we see the picture from. So let me just, I'll show you after he makes the next point. The only other point I really want him to elaborate on for you is when was the call made to sea tow, because that's what we're going to break down. Okay, so they're already, according to him, a quarter of a mile. But notice what he says.
I called sea tow.
And that's when he called sea tow. So after they were pulled out, let me pull back here. And I'm just going to play it. Here we go.
He was on our starboard side bow. And so it was rubbing on his power pole. So Bart turned around, pulled up next to our boat, and we were just trying to get it situated. So that's when Wyatt called sea tow. And Wyatt was like, calls him.
So that's when the call was made. The call was made from, according to him, a quarter of a mile out. Is everybody with me? So now we have the distance in his perspective of how far they were. Now, where was Nolan? I want you guys to tell me in the comment section, where was Nolan according to the individuals on the boat? Where was Nolan at this time? We want to just stick with the facts. I'm not asking you where you thought Nolan was. I'm just asking you, where was Nolan at this time according to the individuals on the boat? I need you guys to tell us. Okay, John Mitchell. John is always on the money. John says on the land. Thank you, John. I really do appreciate you. You're a very thorough person. Okay. All right. Everybody's saying, oh my God. Oh, Kanisha says in the boat laid out. Oh my God. We almost, oh my goodness. No, I get what you're saying, but on the land. Okay. All right. So we have how they have it laid out. They said that Nolan was actually back on the land. Now he tells us that this call was made after a quarter of a mile, right? Now I'm going to show you guys exactly where. Now, before I show you exactly where they were according to the GPS, I want to first show you guys the boat again. Okay, now check out the boat. Notice you don't see the guy who's Warren that's sitting here. Let me show you the reason why we think it might be Warren in the orange shorts. And again, we're not accusing him of anything. But anyway, you see this photo? Okay. You see the hat that he's wearing? Okay, you see that? So that's the photo. This is the hat he's wearing. And notice the hat that he's actually wearing when he's sitting with Tatum here. See the hat? Similar hat. Looks like this could be Warren, right? Sitting with the orange on. Now, he said that the boat was being towed out because what? It was flooded. I want to show you this again. Show me on this boat where you see a drop of water. You know? Tell us where this water is in the boat. Does anybody see water in this photo that they put out? It has water in it. Okay. Do you guys see the water? If you're saying not true, you have to explain yourself. Tell us why. Give us a good argument. I'm willing to switch. Remedy says on the island and has been there since 3. Okay. Does anybody see? Okay. Under the floor, the area where the water gets pumped out. Okay. All right. I'm going to show you later in the video when the description of the water is actually given. Okay. I'm going to give you that whole description. They actually talk about it toward the end of the video. All right. All right. So now I'm going to show you the location according to the actual GPS. So we're going to get to this now. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to pull this up for you. Give me 1 second here. And we're going to get to the actual location of the boat. I want you guys to bear with me while I pull this up. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. Okay, so now we're going to pull up the actual GPS report. Okay, this is CBS, right? And they obtained the actual, if you look here, the new GPS data for the boat Nolan Wells was on before his disappearance. This is in accordance with the MDMR. Okay, so I'm going to go back and start playing this for you. Notice where the boat is actually located when this call is made to CETO.
Entity. And
first off, in the first box here, it shows that the boat left at 9:56 from El Camino here. This is El Camino, and the boat actually left from a dock somewhere in this vicinity. Okay, check this out.
It actually shows exactly where the boat left from when it arrived at Horn Island. You're seeing, as that scrolls down on your screen there, you're seeing that July 4th, that tracking movement, the vessel reaching Horn Island around 11:14 a.m.
11:14.
And then we also see when the boat left. Now, as we've been reporting, Nolan Wells was not on that boat, although his keys and phone were.
Okay, and I have to correct her. His keys were not on the boat. The keys were actually at the friend's house on the console, the gaming console. The boat was left behind. Okay, so if you notice here, earlier she gave us the time that he arrived. It was 11 something. But here, notice this block. At 4:31, they left the island. It gives you the boat. They only tell us what happened with the Triton. They do not give us the tracking of the GPS for the other 2 boats. I think that's very essential. But it says that at 4:31, the boat departed the west tip of Horn Island. And notice here, the vessel was towed approximately 2.7 miles before normal operation resumed. You guys see that? So they were not a quarter of a mile out when the call was made, according to the GPS, right? Because we have the coordinates, right? It was approximately 2.7 miles out. Okay. So that's when this call is made. Imagine if somebody is 2.7 miles away from you. Why would you be calling out their name? So now we're going to actually go to the actual audio, and we're going to go through this process together. And I know there are some people that feel different ways about the audio, but we're going to have a chance to go through it bit by bit together. I would encourage you to actually put on your, let's see here, 1 second, put on your earphones so that you can hear it much better. But we're going to go through this now. Just give me 1 second to pull it up and we'll get started. Okay, we did this earlier today. I found it quite intriguing. I'm going to do this again for those that requested that I go through this again. I want to thank you guys for all your participation. Please hit the like button, share, and subscribe if you don't mind. I really do appreciate you guys tremendously. All right, so What I want to do first, notice the words up here at the very top. MDMR releases call audio from the boat in Nolan Wells case. What I also want to do, I want to go back. I want to show you that this is coming from the WLOX news. You guys see that? Wait, I have to remove. Let me remove this first, okay? I want to remove this here and clear the screen, okay? I don't want any obstruction when we go through this process. So first off, I want you guys to sign the dotted line by putting a 1 in the chat that you can see that the audio that I'm playing is not enhanced. This is just a regular audio coming from WLOX News, the local news there for Mississippi. And they received this directly from the MDMR. Okay, so we're not playing what a person on Facebook put up, even though I'm not necessarily disputing a lot of that, right? We're not playing Nancy Grace. We're playing the actual audio that still has the music on it, right? So we don't need any of that. My argument is we're going to be able to make out that Nolan is being talked about on the boat. I've already shown you 2.75 miles out. You're going to have a hard time to get around that. All right. So at this time, I want to call all the people that have been debating this whole thing. I really need your attention. Definitely the individuals that have been saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Da, da, da. All of that. Now is your moment, right? Because we're doing a crowd experiment. I'm going to play this. And as I stop it, I want you guys to tell me what you're hearing, if you hear anything. And let's see how this goes, okay? So I'm going to start off. And again, this is not the enhanced audio. This is the audio in its rare form, according to how the MDMR put it out, okay? So I would encourage you to put on your headphones at this time. Shout out to Uda on Go. Nice to have you here, brother. Good to see you. All right, guys, so let's start the experiment. Okay, did you hear that? What did you hear at that point? Did you hear anything? All right, so that was the first thing that I believe you could clearly possibly hear. I'm not going to tell you what you heard. If you didn't hear anything, tell us, right? Okay, Eddie says he heard static. Okay. All right. Did you hear anything at this point? All right. If you heard something, just say something. That's all. I'm not going to tell you. Okay. Yolanda says yes, but tell us, can you articulate what you heard in regards to this matter? I'm going to play it one more time and then we're going to move on. Okay. Anybody hear that? What did the guy say? Let's see if you heard anything. Okay, my name says I heard various voice tones. Okay. All right. Now, we're going to do an experiment, right? But if I tell you what's being said, that turns into confirmation bias. Okay. All right. All right. So we got to get rid of Glenn. Glenn, you got to go out to the nation. You go. Goodbye. Thank you. All right. No terrible speech like that. All right. So one more time. If you don't hear anything, we're going to move on. Okay. So anything? Okay. Now, see, that's the tricky part. According to the audio that the lady put out, the boy says, oh, shit, Nolan. Okay. So I'm going to play it one more time. But that won't count because if you can't come to it under your own conclusion, it's not there. Or at least we're going to take that approach for this experiment. All right, I'll play it one more time. And if you have your headphones in, it's going to be in your, this is actually in the left side. It seems that it's switching back. I don't know why, but I'm going to play it right now. Oh, shit. Okay, so maybe you don't hear that. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, did you guys hear that? Did you hear anything at that point? I'm going to play it again. Let's go through it. Okay, did you hear something there? Okay, you heard Nolan. A lot of people are saying they saw Nolan. Okay, but what does a female say? You don't hear a female in the background. First of all, do you have on headsets? If you don't have headsets on, uh, or earphones, then you're not going to hear much of anything. You have to have on your earphones. But anyway, I'm going to play this. Okay, you hear a female. What did she say? Do you hear anything? If not, we're just going to keep moving. But this is a live experiment to see if people actually hear some of the things that are being said. Okay. All right. So Uda says, she says, is he dead? Okay. That's according to what the audio expert said. So Uda, on go. That's, I would say that confirms what the audio expert said. Okay. All right. The free thinker says, is he dead? That's right. That's what the female says. Also, New Jersey. Okay, so quite a few of you have said that she asked, is he dead? Okay, so we're agreeing. So far, we've had people in the audience say they heard Nolan, right? That's agreeable to what the audio engineer said. Also, is he dead? So far, we're hearing, or people are hearing on their own accord, what others are saying. Let's keep going. Okay, what did you hear there? Did you hear anything? Did you hear a name? Did you hear anything at this point? All right, let's see. All right, what did you hear at that point? I'm going to play it back 1 second here. Okay, did you hear that in the lefty? Okay, right. All right, so people did hear that. But where are the people earlier that were pushing back? I need you to be front and center. I need you guys to be front and center right now, because I want to hear you dispute all of these people that are hearing Nolan. There was someone earlier saying that they did not hear Nolan. So where are you now? Come to the main gate. Let's talk about it. All right. You see all of these people that are saying Nolan? Where's the individual that said it was a no or whatever? This is your moment. Maybe they left. Okay. So okay. All right. Kat says, I heard no way. Okay. So I'm going to play it again for you. If that's what you heard, that's what you heard. I'm not here to dispute you. Okay. So I'm playing it again. Okay. So most people are saying the same thing. All right. Seeking Truth says nothing at all. So you don't hear anything. Okay. Do you have earphones in? Seeking Truth, do you have earphones in? Let me ask you that question. Because if you don't, then we really can't have the discussion. Let's see. John says, I didn't hear that music earlier recording. Okay. Yeah, it was there. I played it earlier. Okay. All right. Somebody said, John says, no leak. No land, no way. Okay, all right. You hear what you heard. I'm not disputing anybody. Okay, so most people said they heard Nolan. Okay, so we can move on. Okay, what did you hear there? That was very distinct. I would imagine most people heard that. What was said there? I'm going to replay it. All right. This is the natural video, no enhancement, and the music is still playing, and you're still able to make out the same words. Check this out. Okay, everybody got that one right. Check it out. Oh my God. Oh my God. You see that? Okay, so what is it that all of these individuals are seeing? Okay. Now, as we listen to this, here's my argument, right? I want to make this argument. When you listen and you start putting all of this together, it seems that these individuals on the boat are discovering Nolan all at once. It's almost like if they were by the shore, it would be as though they returned to the boat and they saw Nolan and they're like, oh shit, Nolan. And the girl's like, is he dead? You know how girls are, right? Oh, is he dead? You know, I can envision, right? A lot of this. It seems like they're discovering Nolan, but remember, they're 2.7, approximately 2.7 miles at sea when the call goes out, this is Warren's words, right? He says that they were a quarter of a mile, but the actual GPS we could believe is more accurate. The GPS pinned them down. That GPS on the boat, right? In your car, you get in trouble, you commit a crime, they're going to use the GPS on your vehicle to say, well, this is where it happened. Or if you had a car accident, or if you tried to flee, they'll say you definitely you did go to this bank and you probably robbed it, or whatever it is the argument is, right? All right. So as you listen to this, I want you to hear different voices are saying Nolan, and it's as though they're just seeing him for the first time in a certain condition. Let's check it out.
CETO Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the.
Okay, so in the background, you can hear some name.
CETO Assistance.
Okay, did you guys hear a name in the background after the person says, oh my God? Did you guys hear that? Okay, did anybody hear a name at that particular point? If so, just state the name. We want to be very clear. Thank you, Jeff, for welcoming people in, being a great moderator tonight. I really need it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks to all the moderators, by the way. All right, I'm going to play it one more time here. Listen to after, oh my God. Oh, okay, I got to go back. Sorry. You hear that? Oh my God. And then they say a name. If you don't get it, I don't want to push a narrative. You have to hear it on your own. Okay. All right. Men's easy is saying no way every time. Oh man. Okay. I see how this is going to go. All right. So men's way heard no way. Everybody else is hearing Nolan. Okay. All right. I don't know about this one. This is an odd fella. Okay. But anyway, we have to keep going.
CETO Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Okay, you heard another name, right? They call a different person's name. You have to listen. It's in the left ear because I hear the dispatcher in my right ear. Hopefully it's the same for you. But in the background, you hear another person's name. I'm going to play it for you.
CETO Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Okay, they asked this guy a question. So they said his name, and then somebody says, why you? Okay, can you hear the name in the background? Oh, yeah, okay. John Mitchell says, okay, all right. So are you saying it's okay? You're asking a question about Bart. Okay, everybody else is hearing Bart. Okay, everybody's hearing Bart. Okay, but one person, John Mitchell, says, is Bart or his own boat or this boat? Okay, so you're not hearing. So maybe you're hearing Bart. Maybe you're hearing own boat. Okay, or this boat. Okay, if that's what you're hearing, I'm not here to dispute you. I just want to see what people are hearing on their own. All right, let's keep going.
Hey, we're at the west.
Somebody said a curse word. Did you hear the curse? Well, I don't want to lead here. So what did you hear in the background at that point? Did you hear a word in the background at that point? I'm going to play it again. I keep forgetting to just play it back to back. Here we go.
We're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working.
I didn't go back far enough. Sorry.
Speaking. How can I help you?
Hey,
You hear that word? There's a word that's being said in the background. Let me play it again.
He's speaking. How can I help you?
Hey,
right there. You heard that? Okay. I don't want to say it. If you don't hear it, I don't want to give anybody a narrative. I'm going to play it one more time. After you hear Nolan, you're going to hear the word.
Speaking. How can I help you?
Hey,
right there. You hear that? Yeah. Okay, so everybody got it. It's the F word. Okay. All right. So I'm not crazy. So you see how this is working, right? And I encourage you not to, I know it's difficult not to read what somebody else is saying, but I just want everybody to give their own interpretation of their own accord. Let's listen even further.
We're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the word coming up?
Okay, I know you guys heard that. What was said in the background, Kanisha? What was said in the background? What was said in the background? You could hear that one loud and clear. I'm going to go back. Check it out here.
All right, of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
It's in your left ear if you have on the earphones. That's right. Free Thinker says, get the F. Okay, let me okay, most people are saying, shut the F up. Okay. All right. I think that's the general consensus. Okay. But you see how this is working? Okay. Tariq says, like, come and wake the F up. Some say shut the F up. Others are saying wake the F up. But a few words there. It's not like somebody's saying, hey, you crap head. You know, it's right. It works with what everybody else is saying. It's not something totally different and ridiculous, right? Okay, so we're going to play this one more time. And thank you guys for the participation.
All right, of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
Okay, so what is said before shut the F up? What's said right before that? All right. I want you guys to answer that. What is said right before shut the F up?
All right, of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
All right, you heard that? There's two. Okay, I'm going to play it again. All right. Before shut the F up, there's some words being said.
All right, of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
I hear it in my left ear. Okay. Okay. Let's play it again.
Y'all please come. We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
What you could do is take out your right ear. I think you would hear it in your left. All right. That's the way to hear this clear. Okay. So here we go.
How far is the word coming up, sir?
Take out the right earphone and listen to what he's saying before he says shut the F up.
All right, of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
That's right. That's right. Kanisha says shut up. Shut the F up. Okay. So there we have it. Thank you. Okay. All right. I'm going to play it one more time. All right.
All right, of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
All right. So
Can you
there
give
we
me a
have it.
description? Ankles.
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey,
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
I think I have to keep. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, guys. Let me
membership.
put my other one back in.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description?
Okay. So what does the person say in the background right after shut the F up? Okay. I'm going to play it again. Listen to what they're saying.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description?
Okay. What does the person say? This is a good one. Let's see who picked it up. All right. What does the person say right after the individual says shut the F up? Okay, we got that part, but what does he say right after that? There's different guys talking. Listen.
How far is the water coming up, sir?
Now listen to this.
Can you give me a description?
You hear that? You hear that in the background? Okay, I'm going to play it again.
How far is the water coming up, sir?
Okay, here it goes. Listen carefully.
Sir, can you give me a description? Ankles.
You guys have earphones in? If you have earphones, I know you can probably hear it better. Okay, so I don't think anybody's hearing this one, so we're going to move on. I'm going to play it one more time. Right after shut the F up, you should be able to hear it.
The water coming up, sir. Can you give me a description? Ankles.
Okay. All right. Any takers before we move on? Okay. I don't want to give any information, so unfortunately, if I tell you, it becomes confirmation bias because I'm leading you like leading a witness in court. You know, I don't want to do that. I'll play it one more time for you.
The water coming up, sir. Can you give me a description?
Okay. All right. So I'll give you. I'll give you one word. the person is saying, damn it, and they're saying a boy's name after that. So listen to him. After they say shut the F up, he's saying, damn it, in the boy's name. Check it out. Just I'm not gonna give you that second word, but check it out.
All right, of course. How far is the word coming up, sir? Can you give me a description?
You hear that? What is being said? What's the phrase that's being said? I don't want to lead you. You have to hear it for yourself, but I did give okay. All right, I did give you that key word, so I'm halfway failing at this. Okay. All right. Okay, so it's too low for you. I get that. Oh, I could turn it up. I'm sorry. Maybe I have it too low. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe that's the difference from earlier. Okay, so I'm gonna play it again. Tell me if you can hear it better now. I had my volume down. I don't know why I had. I'm sorry.
For sure.
All right, of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
Okay, you guys heard shut up, shut the F up, right? Now listen to what's being said right after that now that I've turned the volume up.
Sir, can you give me a description? Ankle.
Did you hear it that time? Could you hear what another guy, there's several guys that are talking. It's different voices, right? We're going to go through this again a different way. Yeah, I already played Nancy Grace. We're going to go a different way after I'm done with this little project. So let's just push through. We're going to listen to a little bit more. Then I want you guys to pay attention to the distance. Okay, I want you to pay attention to the distance of the guy that's on the phone versus the distance of the guys that are shouting, right? And you'll start to see that maybe it's not on the same boat. It's on a neighboring boat, okay? I'm going to make that argument next. And we don't know, and we're just asking questions, okay? We're not accusing any of these guys of anything. Let's make that clear. I'm going to play more. Here we go.
Hello?
Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
All right, well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership like guaranteed. I don't have the tag.
Okay, what boy name do you hear right here? Okay, I'm gonna play it. What boy's name do you hear?
Guaranteed.
You hear that in the background? You can hear a boy's name. Can you hear it? I'm not going to tell you who it is, but oh, yep, there you go. All right, so you guys are hearing the same thing. I think I had the volume down, so we're going to breeze back through it a little bit, just so I think that was the difference than earlier, because at lunch people were getting it quickly. Okay, so everybody's hearing. See, now you guys are hearing, so I messed this up. I'm going to go back through it very quickly. I screwed it up by having the volume down. I'm sorry. Let's go further, and then we'll go back.
All right, unless you have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
All right, and is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How
on
many?
board.
All right, do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
All right, what name did you hear right then?
Coast Guard? All right, do you need the United States Coast Guard?
Okay, it may not be a name. It might be a similar word, though. All right, let's see. Okay, yes. Sounds like Warren Seekin, but I don't think so. It sounds like what to me? I don't know. It's we're just going through this. So I'm going to play it one more time.
All right, do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Oh, you might be right. Sounds like you're right. Maybe it is Warren. Okay.
Do you need the United States Coast
Oh, okay, so now you hear another boy's name. This one is clear, okay? Check out this boy's name.
Do you need the United States?
Okay. Actually, I'm debating this one between a name and also a phrase because, again, this is the unenhanced audio. We're just going with the natural. What do you guys hear? Okay. Right. It's either Wyatt or quiet. Okay, so I can understand the duality of that one. Okay, thank you. Let's keep going.
States Coast Guard.
No, we do not need that.
Okay, did you guys hear that one? What did he say? Check this out in the background. This is a key one right here.
United States Coast Guard.
No, we do not need that.
You hear that? When he says, no, we don't need that, a boy in the background says something. What does he say? Okay, I'm going to play it again until we can get it right here. Check it out, guys.
No, we do not need that.
Yes, check his chest. Everybody's hearing that. Okay, so I want to ask you guys, when it comes to these phrases, and we're talking about the bilge pump, why would you need to check the chest of a bilge pump? Can somebody explain that to me? Okay, I see it, guys. Everybody's getting these same phrases without an enhancement. You don't need all of the whistles and bells. You just need a little, your ears, earphones, and a little bit of pay attention. Okay, check his chest. Are we talking about the chest of maybe jewelry or fortune? What chest are we talking about here? For all of the people, this is where I run into issues, right? I get people that come in, they make all of these statements and they're saying, oh, it's the bilge pump or whatever. But then when I do this exercise, everybody is quiet. I'm not talking about the people that are participating. I'm talking about the people that are pushing back. So where are these people at that said they didn't hear Nolan? They hear all of these things. I need you front and center so that we can I'm going to drop the link again. Remedy, I had sent you the link in your text. I don't know what the issue could be, but I'm going to put the link here in case that there's an issue, but I'm pretty sure I sent you the link. I'm going to drop it again in the chat here. I've been just waiting. Okay. If you want to come in. All right. So there you have it, guys. We went through a lot of this, right? Now, this time when I play the audio, we're going to go through a little bit more, and then we're going to do a different exercise. Give me 1 second.
Right. All right. Do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Okay, let's go back here.
All right. All right. Do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Let me go look.
If not, I can send you a text message.
Okay, so now you hear a boy's name, and you're going to hear his name 4 times, okay? I'm going to play it.
If not, I can send you a text message.
You heard his name 4 times? What name did you just hear 4 times back to back? Who is this fellow? There's a new fellow we haven't heard about. There's a new guy there, okay? Now, we don't know who's on the boat. How would we get this guy's name if you're not getting it from the audio? So that would be a good question to ask. Okay, there you go. People are starting to answer. They hear Will. So who is Will? Is it down south we had whippoorwill? Have you guys ever heard of a bird called the whippoorwill? The whippoorwill? Maybe it was a bird. When I used to live in the South, I used to wake up every morning to the sound of a whippoorwill. I miss those days. You won't hear a whippoorwill in New York. You can forget about it, right? But it sounds like the birds are saying, my uncle, he died at about 81. And he used to always tell me when I was a little kid, he was like, yeah, that bird is talking about, he said, they whipped old Will. He said the bird was an eyewitness to it. It was so funny. But anyway, he was like, yeah, that bird is saying whippoorwill. They whipped old Will. I miss those days. You know, I've been in New York 30 years. It's been a long journey for me, you know, but I love it. I love Virginia too, but I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't go back. Anyway, I go back to visit, but I don't want to go back there to live. Okay. All right. So this time around, we're going to stop this exercise, guys. We're going to do something different. I want you to envision that the guy, the main character, the voice that you hear that's so prominent. First of all, let me welcome in my guest, Remedy, to the stage. Remedy, how are you?
I'm well, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're doing quite well.
Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you?
All right. Before we get started with our discussion about Nolan Wells, right? Thank you, Asia, for the 10 jewels. I'm going to do a couple of projects here, and then we'll have our discussion. All right. Okay. So no, you can stay here with me, hang out with me,
All right.
and let everybody see you. But we're going to do this a different way. Here we go. All right. So, guys, And I just need you to mute it. Okay, beautiful. You're on top of your game. All right, so this time around, for this audio, I want you guys to notice the location. Okay, listen to for location. The prominent voice is right into the phone, right? Right into the phone, so you hear it very prominent. But I want you guys to get an idea of the distance that you're hearing these voices. Remember, there's two boats. They showed us a picture of one. I'm going to show you that boat, okay? So let's go back. Let me show you the boat, okay? So this boat here, that boat has 7 people on it. Let me show you all the individuals allegedly. But again, when you compare the clothes that Warren was wearing that day, you don't see it. So we could make an argument that the person that's taking the photo of this boat is in the other boat, which they say was Bart's boat. But they only showed us a photo of the boat with 7 characters. So the argument is, well, Nolan could be, we're not saying he's in the boat. We're not accusing anybody. But what I'm saying is we should be able to also see who's in the other boat in order for people to totally rule out that there's no Nolan. In fact, we don't see Warren unless he's wearing something different. So then you have to make the argument that he changed his clothes, right? Is anybody with me? I mean, let's see. Put a 1 in the chat if you're with me. Put a 2 if you disagree. I'm okay if you disagree. Let's see. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand the argument. Put a 2 if you don't. Let's see what you guys have to say. Okay, so New Jerseyan gets it. Obviously, there's 2 boats here right now, but we only get a chance to see the one. Whoever's taking this photo is on the other boat. They filmed a video of the other boat, but they don't show us who's on the boat that they're on. That's a real big issue, right? That's a big issue, right? John, let's see what John says. And guys, I want you to push back, and also Remedy, please chime in whenever you're ready. John, let's see what John is saying. It says, Mel, why would you take a sinking boat with passengers out to sea away from dry land against all boating rules? Exactly. But that's what happened here. That's what we're led to believe. And guess what? I also showed you that they towed the boat according to the GPS 2.75 miles, right? So why would you tow the boat 2.75 miles and then call sea tow? You know what I mean? Like you're already out there. Why don't you get your buddy to tow you the rest? It's only 10 miles. Why don't you get your buddy to tow you the rest of the way? Well, when you look at the actual report, let me show you guys again. The actual report said that after that, when they were able to resume to normal boating, so they were able to just take that boat. And then when we look at the actual GPS, the boat went to the dock. It came back to Fort Bayou. It went back to the dock. So after this 2.75 mile tow, the boat was in in good condition, right? So what's happening here is what we just want to understand. And thank you, John, for your question. We have Jeff
I
says a
want to speak
cover
on.
up. Go ahead. What do
Sorry,
you
man. I didn't mean to
talk to
interrupt
us?
you, but I want to speak on what John said. He makes, it's common sense. If these boys have never sank before, you are facing a situation that you've never encountered. You don't know how quickly this boat will sink. You don't know the disaster that will come after. So if you are unsure of how the circumstances will play out, Mel, why would you take this boat all the way out here in the water if you don't know how to control it? You don't have control of the situation. Um, you know, Warren said his friend was trying to, I don't know the word he used, but make it come out, and when they would, it would just keep flowing back in. So Mel, I would stay close to shore, especially if I have my friends on here. Not everyone can swim, so I stay close to shore where I'm safe. This has never happened to me before. I don't want to make a mistake. So it doesn't make sense to take that boat out there, way out there, in my opinion.
Right. Let me ask you this, right? When it comes to, I need to mute you out. I'm sorry. When it comes to Nolan, right? They tell Nolan, hey, the boat is taking on water. Nolan says, oh, I don't want to go on the boat. I'm going to stay on the island, but you leave your phone on a sinking boat. Talk to me. Let's see. Go ahead.
Everybody should have been saying, "Get the phones off. Give me the phones." Listen. I don't care how well I can swim. We hear about the currents and things all the time. Get everything off of the boat. First of all, if we're by land, Neil, it makes sense. We're right here by land. Let's get things off the boat so we don't damage stuff. Give Nolan his phone. Let's get our phone. Everything. Let's salvage what we can. We don't know how this is gonna play out. So give him his phone. Especially if he's saying he's gonna stay back, Neil. I need a way to get from out here so and if the boat is sinking, what good, is leaving his phone or any of the phones on the boat to be listen, I made a statement on Facebook and I said something about the phones being waterproof. Oh, these people, they bashed me. They were like, the phone is water resistant. This is salt water. You put your phone in salt water and let's see how it goes. Well, it works the same way. If you know that there is water coming in the boat. This is salt water, and your phone is not salt water resistant or salt water proof. Get the phones off the boat along with you. Makes sense. So yeah.
I'm sorry, I was muted. Okay. So, what I was saying is, I tend to agree with men when it comes to this. When I was growing up, my grandfather, some of the guys would have older vehicles, and sometimes, let's say you would drive it and you run into a problem and they say, okay, well, I'm going to call the tow truck or whatever. And then you talk to your grandfather. He was like, oh, man, you don't need to call a tow truck. All you have to do is turn the carburetor and kick it 3 times and off you go. So it could have been something like that, to say the least. I do recognize that. In fact, I made that same argument the other day. So I do understand that maybe the grandfather said, listen, you don't need to. Now, it seems like a stretch in many cases, but I can understand it also. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, Mel. I stopped hearing you, so I had to step away. And if we're gonna talk about them calling the grandfather to give them advice, how are they so sure grand that their call would get enough reception to even contact grandpa? A lot of people are, well, a lot of people in the defense of these boys are saying the reception is poor. This is why they leave the phones on the boat. You really don't get reception anyway, and you don't want your phone to get damaged in the water. Well, how are you guys so sure that grandpa was going to be on the answering end for you, or that you were going to get reception to even contact your grandpa for him to guide you guys through this situation? I'm not a water person, but I'm pretty sure those boats are expensive, Mel, and you want to get help. I know you would panic, and if you don't have reception, I don't know, Mel. It's really messy, honestly. They say there's no reception, but they were able to get grandpa allegedly. I think that's what
Right.
they're saying. They were able to get grandpa on the phone. But how did you guys get service?
Right. Right. I just put the link in the chat. If anybody would like to come on the show, you can. All you have to do, we have 2 streams going at this time. The secondary stream, the one that's horizontal that goes to your laptop or to the television, all you have to do is go there, click the link, and you can come in and be heard or give us your point of view. Would love to hear from anybody that wants to speak on it. Nobody's going to try to debate you or push you around. You're free to say whatever you want to say. All right. So this time around, I'm going to let this play, and I want you to listen to the distance and how some of the voices seem to be further away. But also, I want you guys to tell me this. Does it appear as though these individuals are noticing Nolan for like the first time in a certain condition? All right. So just notice how they all seem shocked in their own way. Oh shit, Nolan. The girl says, is he dead? And people are saying, Nolan, and wake the fuck up. Whatever they're saying. And then they're telling each other, shut the all these things are happening. So this time we're just listening for the distance. Then the next time around, when we listen to it, we're going to listen to it as the timing and imagine what the people that are actually speaking, what they may be seeing that caused them to say certain things. So this time, let's go through for the sounds, and hopefully you have your earphones in. I want to ask you guys a question. This time around, now that I turned this up, are you able to hear "oh shit"? I'm just wondering if you guys hear it. Right there. Does anybody hear "oh shit"? According
We can't
to,
hear it.
oh, you can't hear it? Oh,
No, we didn't hear it.
okay. All right. I'm sorry. Let me add it to the stage. I'm sorry. I'm glad you told me. Let's see here. I must have something else up. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. So let's go.
Connect you.
Can you hear it now? Yeah. Okay. Did you guys hear that? Still nothing? You don't hear any sound? I'm not sure what the problem is then.
Oh, we can hear the sound, Mel. We can hear the sound. I can't make out that. Oh shit.
Okay, but you can hear the sound, right?
Yeah, we can hear the
Okay.
sound.
All right, cool. All right, cool. Did anybody hear Nolan this time around? Did you hear it this time around? That's right. You're supposed to hear the music, Mama Flips. I'm playing the original that actually came from. Let me show you here. This actually stems from the WLOX. So I want everybody to see the actual or hear the actual audio. Okay, so that's why. All right.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna. Yes.
I'm sorry. Can I say something for I see a lot of people asking why they are hearing music and I think they may think that someone added that music, but if you put yourself in the situation where you're making a call, they have hold music playing. And most of the time, those calls are still recording, even though you're not aware or even though the music is playing. So I think that those kids on the boat, they were not tuned into reality or understanding that this call was still recording while all of that was going on in the background.
Okay. They're saying they can't hear you. You're very low. You're coming across very low.
Can you hear me better now? I took one of
Yeah.
my. All
Okay.
right.
Now. Okay. Great.
Sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I just wanted to, give the people context as to why they're hearing that music. No one added that music. When you put yourself in a situation where you are making a phone call to someone, they have hold music playing a lot of the times during this call. That was the whole music that was playing, and the kids, they were not aware that the phone call was recording. So that's why you're hearing the music and you can still hear them in the background. If you notice, I don't want to lead anyone, but when the call actually connects, it's like the person on the phone is trying to give a signal. He's not tuned in, but he's trying to tune into the call. He's like, hey, to like, we're live. So that's why you guys are hearing the music. That's the music, the whole music from him making the call and the call actually connecting.
Okay. Thank you very much. We're gonna go back and play it. I don't want to lead though. I want to. I'm very curious what you guys hear at this point, though. Did you guys hear that? What does this guy say here? The first time around, I had the volume down. Did you hear that? What does this guy say? Let's see if the crowd can pick it up before we move on. Okay, I'm going to play it one more time. Okay, let's see if anybody hears anything. Maybe not. If not, we'll keep moving on. To G Henderson, I just need to see your microphone before I bring you. I'm at your camera before you come on. Then you could turn your camera back off. I just need to make sure you're a real person here. Okay. All right. Good deal. You're all set. You could cut your camera off now. All right. Thank you. Okay. Talk to us.
I only got two questions. The first one is the operator. When he called, he said he needed a tow, and he gave her the information to get the tow. The next question she asked, or circled down the line, was, "How is everybody's health?" The next question after that, she asked, "Do you need the Coast Guard?" That's letting you know right there she heard what we're hearing on that phone. That's why she asked those specific questions. No matter what he was saying, after he called and asked about a tow and tried to get her information for the towboat, she said, "How is everybody's health?" Then right after that, she said, "Do you need the Coast Guard?"
Wow.
And he kept saying no. The second thing is, anybody who's out there on that island for that holiday took pictures when they got out the water onto the boat, especially women. This is the reason why they deleted everything off their phones. You're not going to tell me it was phones on that boat and nobody took pictures of what was going on the island for the holiday and fun and everything. They might have did it while they were in the water, but when they got out the water and got back on those boats, they took pictures.
Okay,
You want to
very
know what
good.
I find strange? I want to respond to him.
Hold on one
People
second.
are
What's your name?
George.
George. Okay, go ahead.
all right, George. What I find strange is everyone wants to push the narrative that no one was active on their phones. People were disassociated from their phones, right? But every time social media or someone asks a question or, start to investigate or come into their own conclusions, here we have these certain pictures popping up to debunk what we're coming up with. So if you guys have those pictures now, why are we just not seeing them? Like, why are you guys still pushing the narrative saying no one was on their phone? Well, obviously, everyone was on their phone. Every time we say something, we get a picture here, we get a boat here. This is Nolan here. Look at the argument here. You have all of this evidence that's coming out, all these videos, yet no one is on their phone. It's crazy.
Right, right.
To the person asking the question, those are not normal questions for a dispatch after he persistently asked for a tow from a certain company. She heard everything and started asking him questions about is everybody breathing? And the next question was, "Do you need the Coast Guard?" After he asked for a tow from a certain company, why would she ask him, "Do he need the Coast Guard?"
Yeah, I
Right.
agree with you with that. I agree. But, if someone was trying to argue against that, they would want to know what's her script? Like, is this normal? Not arguing against what you're saying. I agree with you, but I'm saying people would probably try to argue, well, maybe that's just a part of her script. If they're asking for a tow, they're on water. Obviously, they're in danger if they're sinking. But I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. If she's asking, these questions and they are not a part of her script, then apparently there's a red flag somewhere. She heard something that made her ask those questions.
So, George, do you think it's a common practice that, because it seemed like she delayed picking up, do you think it's a common practice for them to listen and if they hear some questionable activity, to just delay and let it be for a few seconds?
I believe that when you call 911, sometimes you be put on hold. You don't know if you're being recorded or not. So, in these things right here, somebody at CETO heard that tape and gave that tape up without trying to implement them into what happened on that boat or on that island. Whoever that owner is, they played that tape, he heard it, and he sent that tape to whoever he sent it to for it to get out. Because he wants nothing to go against his company and his money as far as what happened out there. Trust me,
Right,
they heard it. That's how
right.
it got out.
Great. Remedy, you want to address the question at hand? You're muted.
Is asking why Cito decided to release that call. I think you know, the George here basically just answered that or, said something in regards to that. I wonder why they did decide to release that call. It's evidence. They sealed all the other evidence, but I think they did want to shine light on the situation at hand that was happening on the boat. Um, I don't know, Mel. They should be asking though, why did
Right.
Sito decide to release that call?
George, do you see anything coming out of this as far as someone being charged, or you see the grand jury going to a place of maybe a big court case?
Yeah, I'm going to put a stretch out here. I believe that this is just my opinion. Something happened. They had some substance. Maybe he took the wrong thing or had an allergic reaction. They're stalling it so long where this stuff would be out of the kid's system by the time they want to go back and say, hey, we need you to come in for a drug test. Because what they're going to find in Nolan, I believe, is going to be some drugs. That's just my opinion. That's why they're holding it. And I believe they were partying. They might slip something to him for him to have a tryout the next day or that following Monday. I can't see him doing that, but kids are going to be kids, a peer pressure, all type of stuff. We don't know what happened, but they're not telling the truth. And this is why they deleted their phones. And this is why they're coming up with these stories and showing certain pictures on what happened that day.
Right, right. Good point. Do you think that having Ben Crump helped the case or hurt it?
Well, Ben Crump brought light to the case, so I'm gonna give that a 75 or 80 out of 100.
Okay. What about you, Remedy?
I don't think he hurt it, Mel. I think people like to shift the blame when they don't want to accept reality. When I've been, watching Ben, when I watch the family, they've never ousted these boys. They've never publicly shamed them or blamed them to say that they did something. They only asked what happened to Nolan. Ben was brought in, or they're, attacking this the way that they are from this angle because the sheriff, before you've even done an autopsy, before you've examined this kid's body to see what's in here, how did we get here? He was with his friends, now he's dead. You say, we don't expect foul play. That's a red flag. I don't think that Ben, I don't think he hurt the case, Mill. I think if anything, he helps it and he's helping it. And I think they know his reputation. They know what he stands for, and so they want to try to shame him or blame him based off his reputation alone, or because they know what he represents. But this family and Ben, they just want, you know, a fair investigation. Like, if why would you just rule out everything and oh, we don't expect foul play? How come you don't? What have you heard? Who did you talk to? And why are you 100% sure that it went the way that it did for you to publicly say, we don't expect foul play? I don't think being hurt the case, Mel. That's my opinion.
Right. George, let me ask you a question. Do you think in this day and time that the local state would try to, or the local towns would try to cover up unitedly any type of case of this sort? Or do you think that's just a myth that people are still pushing?
No, I can believe that the local township would try to cover up the case, but I don't think the state police or the FBI would. That would damage their reputation. Now, here's my thing: if this thing ever does go to trial, or the other thing, the lawsuit, the civil lawsuit, they have to get the tape of those interviews of those children when the police interviewed them. You could tell a lot by their body language when they ask certain questions, and they're going to look at their mama or look at the lawyer and say, "Should I?" Waiting for them to say, "Should they answer this?" That's a telltale sign.
Okay, very good. What do you think, Remedy?
I think they'll cover it up, Mel. Um, when you have power and when you are in certain positions, you have reach without even extending your arms. Money can do things and reputation or, a favor for a favor. Some people just have advantages that other people don't. And it deals with your reputation, it deals with your position, what you serve, how much you contribute to the community, the city. All of that plays a apart. So I think they would try to cover it up, Mel. It's not uncommon. We've seen it. Unfortunately, I don't want to mix in, any other cases, but um, it's happened with Kendrick Johnson. That's awful what happened to him. But and just because it's in a different state doesn't mean that people are not capable of doing exactly what they're doing. I do think they would absolutely work together to try to cover it up, Mel. Yeah.
Okay, George, let me ask you one more question. Do you think by Ben Crump coming out with the secondary preliminary autopsy before we heard about the primary, do you think it set the stage because there was no smoking gun? Do you think it set the stage for the local town to be able to say there's nothing really here? And because in the eyes of public opinion, I think this case is being lost. What do you think?
Well, in my opinion, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a good lawyer as Ben Crump or whoever else. I would have held it and waited for theirs to come out first.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
whatever they're going to do, they're going to contradict whatever the first one did or the first one didn't do. And that's my opinion on that. I just would have held it and say, no, we're waiting. We have it. We're going to see what the state comes up and see if there's anything contradict what we found and what they didn't found. And one more thing, did they test for any wounds on his chest like they tried to revive him when he said check his chest? So that means you have to put compression to pump his chest to try to revive him. See, that's another thing I wanted to know. Did they check for them pumping his heart? 'Cause sometimes that hurt. That can take pressure and leave bruising too.
Wow, that's a great point. Thank you very much. Remedy, what do you say?
Mel, I look at it honestly from two different angles. At first, I did think that Ben was going to hold it. Well, Attorney Crump was going to hold it, and I felt like they were doing, good by doing that. We're not going to play our hand to you. We want you to tell us what you found. But I don't know what became apparent to them, what shifted. And the other angle that I'm looking at it from, Mel, is I think Ben wanted to expose the fact that all of all of Nolan's parts were supposed to travel with him when he went to go and get that second autopsy. I think Ben wanted to shed light on, look, you guys are saying no foul play. Well, can you explain to us why we are missing his throat or why we are missing certain parts that we cannot examine? Because routinely, Mel, from what I can understand from other medical examiners, all of the parts are supposed to go back with the body to the next location that they are going to get the independent autopsy done at. So, I think it's a kind of it's I don't know, man, it's a kind, a one and one thing. It would have been good for him to hold it and not expose his hand, but I think he did it from a different angle to say, you guys are hiding something, and here is how we know you're hiding it. We're gonna put this out, and now you can explain it. And right after that, Mel, now here comes, I think, the district attorney saying, "Oh, well, all of the all of the evidence and everything is going to be sealed into the grand jury." And I think that was odd. I think that was really odd. Now you want to come out and this is your cushion to save, your bottoms. You want to say, now we're going to close off everything. We don't have to tell you why we didn't send it. We're not going to tell you why we didn't send it. There's no, we didn't send it, and you're going to wait on grand jury to, tell you if this gets to go forward or not.
All right, thank you, George. I know I said it was my last question. I'll ask one more. So I've been covering this every day, and for the most part, I notice on mainstream media they're saying they bring on professionals that say we don't hear anything, we just hear gibberish in the background. But then tonight we heard so many people able to pick through the original video audio and hear some distinct things. Do you think there's a bigger level play to try to cause this to die down?
Of course, because you have people, judges, you have a prominent football player, a prospect, They have something greater to lose, and they're going to protect wherever they can and whenever they can. So that's why I don't trust the DA, because I remember the DA and Tamir Rice and what he did when he presented the case to the grand jury, what they say he didn't do or didn't say to get convictions on those police officers. So yes, anything is possible. We've seen it, we've heard it. I'm just glad we haven't witnessed it.
Right. Good point. What about you, Remedy? Okay, I'm not sure
All right,
why.
sorry. Oh, nope, Mel, I couldn't get it off mute. Ask the question again. I'm sorry.
So, what are your thoughts in regards to the mainstream media? They're bringing on all of these professionals and they say, oh, we don't hear anything in the audio.
Yeah. Uh, I think I don't know who has their hand in the cookie jar, Mel, but I think that they are just they're not they don't want to accept reality of it. They're you know how you can be so focused on something and you want to be right. You just want to be right. Um, I don't know, Mel. It could be a tactic of them to, get their views or something. Of they feel like if we push against this, then, maybe we'll have more views or something. I don't know, but you can one I want to say this. Some people may hear one thing, some people may hear another thing. Some people may hear one thing one way, and other people may hear it another, but you cannot just outright say, "Oh, that's a bunch of gibberish," like blah, 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 blah. We don't hear what someone is saying. No, you can hear some things being said. You may not be able to make out exactly what they're saying because of the music, all of the talking. You have three and four people talking, but when you separate it, or not even when you separate it, Mel, you can definitely hear words. And one of the words I know I heard for sure was Nolan. And if Nolan is on the island, no one should be speaking about Nolan at all, or even calling out to him for that matter.
You know, a question that I have for you guys. Did you notice? Because sometimes you hear about people that have an autopsy, then years later they exhume the body, remember? So
Yes.
how
Hmm.
I wonder how does this work in this case? They had his whole funeral and his body parts are not all there. How does that work in real life activity? You know what I mean?
That's a good
Mel,
question. I can't explain that one.
Yeah,
yeah,
they buried him with his throat missing, his lungs. I mean, what if they need those parts years later? You know, I mean, I wonder how this works. We'll have to. I have a pathologist coming on the channel. I think Thursday, so um, we'll be able to ask then. I guess.
I definitely want to be present for this show, Mel, but I want to say, sitting back watching, sometimes I can hear people, or I can see people intrigued. And, some people said they had questions regarding why the pathologist named why she called he called the autopsy results preliminary. Um, I want to say this, Mel. I don't want to make any speculation, but if you get paid to do a job, I think that if you cannot do it sufficiently, then there may be some way that it gets pushed back, or, put on a hold until you can do it to the best of your ability. Now, what I'm trying to explain is I don't want to, say anything foul or someone may deem as foul, but if that pathologist had a job to do and he was not able to do it at that moment, it's possible that he could be waiting for those parts to be sent to him. Um, the body could possibly still be in his presence. I don't know, Mel. It was a closed casket. I'm not a pathologist. I don't know how they complete their routines, how they go about, handling these type of situations when you have parts missing. You cannot complete your investigation thoroughly. So how do you move forward? Mel, I would not. I'm gonna tell you, as a mother, it would be mind blowing for me to put my baby into the ground and all of him is not there. If some parts of him is still on this earth and he's not there, Male, that's troubling. So that's just something that, I wonder, like, is does the independent pathologists, do they have more to come? Are they still working on this, waiting on those parts, waiting to complete their job? Because again, Mel, I don't think it should end at, well, I didn't have these parts, so that's it. I don't think it ends there. I could be wrong, but I will tune in Thursday to see what that pathologist says.
Okay, very good. Any closing arguments by you guys? George, you have any comments you would like to make, questions, or what have you?
I only have one thing I want to say to your audience is that this is this. When police officers and everybody else does egregious things, we must find a way to get a law to take away their certification. Other than that, they can bounce from county to state as long as they have their certification.
Okay, thank you very much. That's a good point. Really do appreciate that. We'd love to have you come back on the show. You're welcome to come back on. I think you added so much tonight. I want to give you your flowers, George. Thank you.
Thank you.
Remedy. Yes, indeed. I really mean that. Remedy, what about you? Any closing arguments before we leave?
Yeah, I would like to tell, people, trust your ears, trust your mind. Sometimes we can be wrong, and like Mel, if we get it wrong, we can come back around and redeem ourselves. We can admit when we're wrong. But for the people that are just pushing back on it to say, you guys are wrong, this is not happening, the boys said this is what it is, get over it. Man, I think that is absurd and I think it's evil because if it were their child, not even their child, their nephew, their family member, you would not be okay with knowing that your family member went to that beach, well, that island, they didn't come back, and we're going to take what they said at face value. Not saying that you have to accuse anyone, but you would want a thorough investigation done, and you would want it done all the way down to the last hair on his toe, his or her foot, Male. You want everything answered, every question answered as to how did we get here, what happened. So for you to think that people are wrong for asking questions or calling out what does not sound right, finding discrepancies in these different stories, then you are what's wrong. And I want to leave it at that, Mel. They are what's wrong.
All right, great job tonight. I really enjoyed having you as a co-host. Really nice. I think we covered a lot of ground. It was nice to have George come on. George is a good man. Very well
Yes.
spoken, very well spoken. Look
Yeah.
forward to hearing from him again. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I think we had a great show. We had thousands of people come through. It's so amazing. To this day, I still don't have these people that always push back to really come forward and tell us what's wrong with the argument that was presented tonight. And let me just run through that argument really quick. The argument is this. What's his name? Officer Tatum says, listen, guys, the boat is right by the shore. Therefore, nothing could have happened to Nolan because the call was made right by the shore, right? But I showed you in the words of Warren that Bart actually towed them out of the chaos. And according to Warren, they were towed out a quarter of a mile. So that's different, right? That's different. And now we have to wonder, did Nolan leave the island or did he get on the boat? We don't have any solid evidence that Nolan stayed behind on the island. We don't have the girls. Remember, Katie's sister came forward. You could check it out on the New York Post. And basically, she's saying, we thought he got back on the boat, right? Now, if they were on the island, maybe even another hour, and he was sweet on her, don't you think he would have approached her to say, hey, I'm still here. Let's continue the vibe, right? But we don't have anything. We do have Warren saying that around 6:30 that Nolan was seen on the island, but we don't have any photos with metadata. Why is that the case, right? So, getting back to my point, Wyatt made it very clear that one boat towed the other a quarter of a mile. Well, I showed you guys that according to the GPS, it was 2.75 miles, almost 3 miles at sea when that call to sea tow happened. And guess what? They were already towed about 3 miles. Why would they not just have Bart continue towing them the rest of the way? Especially if it was canceled. Well, we kind of understand maybe the grandfather was able to coach them to repairing the boat enough to where the CBS said it was able to resume as normal. So we understand maybe that could happen, all right? But the question is this, they show us the one boat, but they don't show us who's on the boat that's actually doing the towing. Okay? So that's the question. And so when you listen to the audio, right? It makes it seem like all of these individuals, all of a sudden, they discover Nolan lying somewhere. So the argument or the question is, was Nolan on boat one and not on boat two that's being towed? And then when the call is being made, you hear people seeing him on a different boat or in the water because they're 3 miles out, right? You don't have a lot of options here. I have a photo that I'm going to show you guys tomorrow night that shows 3 to 4 boats actually together. So there's more, there's more than actually 2 boats that are there, even though Warren said that the Palm Beach had went all the way back or whatever. All I'm saying is tomorrow we're going to build on the argument. I'm going to show you the photo that there's actually multiple boats together. So we don't know what boat Nolan could have been on, but it seems from the audio that Nolan is not on the island. Common sense makes you think Nolan is in the background and they discover him on a boat or someplace and they say, oh shit, Nolan. And then you hear is he dead? You hear all of this in the background. So we don't know what happened. We're just asking questions. We're not accusing anyone, right? But maybe the truth will lead us to a place where it'll all make sense, right? And we'll be able to understand what really happened to Nolan because so many people obviously want to know. I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I think we had a great show. We had so much activity. The chat has been raging. Give us some closing words.
All right, Mel. I have a lot of questions that I would like answered, like everyone else. Just some things to, leave people to think about. Warren, in his interview, said that he learned that his brother was in a fight. He immediately beelined over there, invited his brother back to the boat with them, and told him to get on the boat. And that's when they noticed that it was taking in water. From my understanding, that's what he said, Neil. So, question for that is, what time did this fight happen? What time was this fight? Because according to Warren as well, it should have been at 3 o'clock. He said that that's the last time he laid eyes on Nolan. So it should have been at 3, right? This is when y'all noticed that the boat was sinking. This is the last time you saw Nolan, and Nolan was sitting at the end of the boat or lollygagging with Katie, whatever he was doing around this time is the last time you said you saw him, but you guys didn't leave until 4:30. So for an hour and 30 minutes, I would also like to know, what was going on for an hour and 30 minutes. Was the boat sinking that badly at that point that you guys were just lost and trying to get control of it, yet you still cancel a sea tow? When you get help, you cancel it, even though you've been attending to this boat for maybe an hour and 30 minutes. So you say, I have a lot of questions. I also want to know, Mel, since we're talking about, and this is just, to put something on people's minds. If we're talking about Nolan doing drugs, you have to look at the personality of that kid. I'm not gonna say what kids will and won't do when they get around different crowds. They do things differently, but I would love to know how the drugs got in his system if he did them. Did he do them willingly? Because it's odd that you guys are coming, well, that they are coming out now saying, oh, 100%, or Tatum, Officer Tatum, is saying, I'm 100% sure you're gonna find cocaine in his system. Oh yeah? Ted, let's find out how it got there. So Mel, I have a lot of questions. It's very unsettling, and I don't think it's wrong to ask questions. People continue asking questions. Do what you do. You may not think people are paying attention, but they are. 1,000 minds are greater than one, and I say we have work to do. Keep doing it.
Different voices, but the same song. Building a world where we all belong. Kindness leading the way, breaking the chains. In the symphony of love, the flame remains. Embracing diversity, brighter days in sight. Watching the world sharing love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. Colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might. Watching the world sharing love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. The colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand